The Altadena Town Council meeting for June 19, 2018 is hereby called to order, and the time is
7:10.
7:10. For the Pledge of Allegiance, we'd like to call, let me have Council Member Judy Matthews to introduce the group that will be leading us in tonight's Pledge of Allegiance.
Hello, everyone, and happy Juneteenth.
Microphone, Judy.
Mike, oh, that's right, forgot about that. Okay. The National Council of Negro Women was founded on December 5th, 1935, with the support of leaders of the most noble women organizations. The founder and president until 1949 was Mary McLeod Bethune. The NCNW, which is the acronym, focused on sponsoring education programs, and today the National Council of Negro Women is a nationally recognized coalition with national organizational affiliates that continues to work to enlighten and inspire more than 3 million women and men across the nation. The NCNW San Gabriel Valley chapter, which encompasses Altadena, Pasadena, and the surrounding areas, exists to sponsor and support programs that provide human care, health, and educational services to African Americans and others who underserved persons. The organization continues to implement programs that reflect cultural and ethnic diversity and respond to the social needs of families. It is my pleasure to introduce the National Congress of Women, San Gabriel Valley Representative Anise Jackson, Youth Director, Natalia Roma Jones, Vice President, and Helen Goodman, Coordinator of Youth Male Mentoring Program. Ladies, please come forward.
Good evening. If you could please stand. Face the flag. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you for coming. Hey, Mike. Thank you for coming, and let's give them a round of applause for the great things that you've done in the community. A roll call, Councilmember Matthews.
Good evening, everyone. Council, please acknowledge your presence when your name is called. Nestor Torre.
Present.
Okorie Ezieme.
Present.
Veronica Jones.
Present.
Victoria Knapp.
Present.
Jennifer Lee.
Here.
Billy Malone.
He'll be late.
Diane Markison.
Excused.
Judy Matthews present. Justin Robinson.
Here.
Gloria Sanyika.
Present.
Patricia Sutherlen.
Here.
Dr. Sandra Thomas.
Present.
Sylvia Vega.
Excused.
John White.
Present.
Dr. Reginald Wilkins.
Present.
Dorothy Wong.
Here.
We have a quorum at 13.
Thank you, Councilmember Matthews. And the item 1.3, that will be the June 19 meeting agenda. Turn it over to the Vice Chair, Councilmember Sutherlen.
Good evening, everyone. The Executive Committee met on June the 12th and set the agenda for tonight's meeting. There are copies on the piano if you didn't happen to pick up any when you came in. Are there, ladies and gentlemen, any additions to the agenda as we approved?
I don't have an addition to the agenda, but I just wanted to make a comment. It seems as though our agendas are getting very long, and I just wanted to suggest that,
Just one moment.
I just wanted to make a suggestion.
Okay,
that,
not at this time, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, thanks. All right, we will deal with that in terms of the agenda. Okay, so you have heard the agenda as presented, and are there any additions? Okay, no additions, so,
In that case, I move to accept the agenda as presented.
okay, council, you have heard the motion to accept the agenda as presented. What is your wish? All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposing? Councilmember Sanyika, hold on one moment. What we'll do is this, because the agenda is set by the executive committee the week prior, so we ask for all inputs. If there's any discussions that we need to have on the agenda in terms of the length and things like that, that is something that will be discussed or presented to the executive committee at the appropriate
So that
time.
was just a suggestion that I wanted to make.
We
And,
definitely appreciate your suggestion.
When would you like that information to be presented to you?
You can just set it after the meeting to me, and we will entertain that at the executive committee meetings. Okay, moving forward to the next item, and that will be item number 2.1, and that will be the chair's remarks. And I'll try to be very, very brief tonight. I really did not want to say anything, but that wish did not come through. So I will make 3 comments on 3 topics. The first one, first of all, thank you, Altadenas, for coming out. We always appreciate you coming out, taking the time out of your busy schedule to be here. Route 88. That will be the first thing I want to talk about tonight, and very briefly. You may have received this, Altadenas, and it says stop Metro Bus Line 88, transit to the trails. It is a pilot project, and I did have something prepared so that I will be right on point. Firstly, we applaud the group that have put together this postcard and the many email exchanges we have received. Undoubtedly, this project was rolled out too soon. The consolation is that it is a pilot project. So what that means is that there will be opportunity for the members of the public to give input before a determination is made about the future of this project, the Metro Bus Line 88. In consultation with the county, we plan on having this topic to discuss this on the Altadena Town Council agenda for August 2018. So this will be discussed, possibly both on the Land Use Committee and also at the overall Altadena Town Council meeting, just like this one we're having tonight. Here is what we will do. We will be asking the City of Pasadena and other partners to present data related to ridership, complaints, compliments, and so forth that they have collected, and they will present their recommendations on moving forward. So again, the bus route is a pilot program. It has a finite time that is going to run. You, the community, will be in a position to determine the future of this. Here are some of the options. Number one is to continue, which I don't believe is going to happen as is. The second option will be for the community to come together, tweak it. So it will be continuation with some changes. Finally, the community may decide this is not for us. And then the project, with the community coming out the way that you come out engaged, the project will be discontinued. So I want to make this very clear to us, Altadenans, that it is a pilot project, and there will be opportunity, possibly twice in the month of August, to be able to contribute, give your input, and on how we move forward on this. Again, this was not planned, but it just all happened. And I really do thank you for keeping us honest and letting us know what's going on in your community and how you want your community to run for you. The second thing that I'd like to touch on tonight, and I know the community relations chair may have something prepared on this. I did not communicate with you, Dr. Thomas, because everything unfolded today and my communication with the county on this. On April 10, 2018, the Board of Supervisors unanimously approved a motion by Supervisor Berger and Supervisor Solis to adopt an effective strategy to increase and maintain sworn staffing levels in the Sheriff's Department. And since then, we have received reminders, communication from concerned individuals about the Altadena Town Council writing a letter of support for the increased resources, both human capital and equipment, to our law enforcement. Let me be the first to let Altadenans know that your council definitely supports any initiative that will reduce crime in our community, in our world. Your town council will support any initiative to achieve that. Having said that, we will perhaps be sending a letter to the individual, but I'm making it public to the community that your town council supports any such initiative. So we will deal with the letter at a later time, and this is to the council. All right, moving forward, Measure A, park funding. Altadena has an allocation of $138,774 in this Measure A, park funding. And I know many times this board has discussed what the options for Altadena is. Our supervisor for the 5th District office is really the one that will do the actual spending. But you, the community, will have to determine what the priority in terms of project will be. And a few years back, we did a survey, and there were about 10 items that you, the community, came up with. I believe one of them may have been the teen center, the trails, and it's just a host of them. I don't know if the heating of the swimming pool at not Farnsworth Park, but Loma Alta, I'm not sure if it made the list, but whatever that list is, that's what your county is looking at to be able to spend this money on. In my conversation today with the county, they also indicated that there are other monies through our previous Supervisor Antonovich, and also the current one, that they have stepped up in terms of support for the parks. So having said that, we plan within the next 60 days to bring to you, the community, the appropriate county department handling the Measure A matter to discuss your town, Altadena, specific spending and priorities. You will be the one that will lead the county on how this money will be spent. So I had that conversation today. So now we hope to revisit these priorities and begin the actual implementation. Okay, I have one more, but I think Councilmember Matthews, you'll deal with the Buffalo Soldiers
Yes.
at the appropriate time.
Yes.
So that is the report from your chair today, and we'd like to move on with the item number 2.2, which is the vice chair report. Councilmember Sutherlen.
Okay, I just want to remind you that there are comment cards on the piano. If you would like to make public comment, which we are very happy to have you do on any subject, there are two opportunities for you to comment during this meeting. The first one is after the law enforcement section is for general public comment, at which time you can talk about anything that you would like to talk about, but be sure that we have your comment card so that we can call on you and you can come up to the podium and you can discuss for the camera and for all of us what you'd like to talk about. The second opportunity you have is under our committees, under land use. We have an item that the council is voting on tonight. So if you would like to vote or to comment on the parking permit issue that we're going to be voting on tonight, please also give us a comment card. Please be sure that your name is printed clearly, your address, because we do not respond to public comment during the meeting. If we have your address, your phone number, your mailing address, we'll make sure that the council member for your census tract gets back to you to answer any questions that you may have. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Again, we cannot stress enough that if you would like to make comments, please, the information is there and you can pass it on through Councilmember Knapp and we'll
That's the
get
part
it.
I forgot.
Okay, thank you so much. The item number 2.3, and that will be the recording secretary's report, and that will be Councilmember Matthews, sorry.
Council, you were provided the proposed meeting minutes of May 15th, 2018, on Thursday, June 14th, 2018, with a response date of Monday, June 18th, 2018. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes? Not hearing any corrections or additions to the minutes, I move that the proposed meeting minutes of May 15th, 2018 are approved.
Council, you have heard the motion properly seconded, and that is for the approval of your May 15, 2018 minutes. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposing? Anyone abstaining? Thank you. Moving on to item number 2.4, that will be the treasurer's report, and Councilmember White.
Thank you, Chair. The Altadena Town Council maintains a checking account. The account is in good standing with a balance of $2,300. We use that money to pay for necessities for the Town Council, including the recent election. Please consider donating. We'll circulate a can. Give what you can. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And moving on to the next Item 2.5, and that will be the corresponding secretary's report. Councilmember De La Torre.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. So in terms of correspondence, we received three. One, a newsletter from the local nonprofit Day One, also a newsletter from the United Teachers of Pasadena. Lastly, we received a flyer from the Parks Department from the county about the concerts in the summer and the list of all the dates. In terms of the website, we're still chugging along, but that's going, and I'll be much more available as a chair in the summer, so I'll devote more time to that. And to that end, I wanted to say, like, since this is one of my last meetings, I want to ensure anyone on the council who is interested in being corresponding secretary that I'm still available. I'm not going to just leave you and just let you on your own. But in terms of the website, I'll still be there. And in terms of the rebuilding of the website, if that does carry into when I'm not here, I'll ensure that that process is done too before I leave.
All right. Well, on that note, I'd like to give him a recognition. Let's recognize him for offering. That's what we're talking about. And I know that there are other people within the community that, even though that they're not sitting here, they are very, very active. And one of them I like to point out is Dr. Coleman, that is right in the audience. So we really appreciate your commitment to your community. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on to public safety reports. And let's start with the California Highway Patrol. I'm not sure if they're here. Okay, so Officer Mike Yoyer is not here, so let's go with...
Officer Cooper is, I was about to say what he's doing, but he's on some important work right now, so he's not going to be here.
All right, thank you. All right, our Captain Stockey, come on up, the Sheriff's Station.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the Town Council. Before we review the crime stats, I'd like to share some important information with everybody. Our summer enforcement team has been deployed, and again, this year we thank our supervisor for funding our summer enforcement team. As a reminder, the 4th of July is just a few weeks away. All fireworks are illegal in the town of Altadena and all unincorporated areas of Los Angeles County. I left some information to give to each one of you guys. And it talks about information regarding fireworks. Also, I sent an electronic copy to the chair, hoping that you could post it also on your website. And I'll leave some copies on the piano if you guys need additional copies. Also, looking for any family events this summer, check out Parks After Dark. They will be hosting Parks After Dark at Loma Alta Park on Lincoln. You call the park office and find out what type of activities they're going to be having in the evening, and they're family-oriented activities going on in the park. And also, we do have the concerts in the parks starting the Saturday after 4th of July also. Okay, so overall crime for the month of April 2018, when compared to the month of May 2018, remained about the same. We were just down by one crime. Our rapes remained at 0. Our robberies remained at 0. Robbery strong arms from 0 to 2. Neither of those were gang-related. Our aggravated assaults went from 1 to 4. None of those were gang-related. Domestic violence was 0. Our residential burglaries are coming down. They went from 12 to 7. Our larceny grand thefts, they went up from 10 to 15. So I always remind you guys and everybody in the community, lock your vehicles. When you park your vehicle, take everything out of your vehicle when you lock your vehicle, especially the key fobs, and we'll talk about that under thefts of vehicles. But that's what the larceny thefts are mainly for. Or anything that you have, don't leave it laying around. Someone will steal it, and that's where we get the grand theft larceny. Our GTAs went from 5 to 11. So only 4 of the vehicles have not been recovered, and they're still outstanding. There's no pattern regarding the year, make, or model of any of the vehicles, but at least 5 of the stolen vehicles were recovered within 3 to 4 days of being stolen. So I remind you again, is to lock your vehicle and remove the key and the key fob inside your vehicle before it's parked. We did have a couple of vehicles that were stolen this month, and the key was inside the vehicle. Especially if you're new to just having a key fob, sometimes we just get the fob and we put it on the center console, and then when we get out, we forget to take the fob, and then somebody comes along and they see it, and they have access to your car. So let's remind everyone to do that. Our arsons remained at 0. Census Tract 4603.2 had an increase from 4 crimes to 11. Our largest increase was in their larceny and grand thefts, and they went from 0 to 5. And our largest decrease was in 4601, and they went from 15 to 9. As always, if you see something, say something. Don't wait for your neighbors to call. It's up to you to give us a call whenever you see something out of the ordinary in your neighborhood. Are there any questions?
Okay, Councilmember Sutherlen.
Captain Stuckey, for those people that don't know what the summer enforcement team is, could you explain?
So Captain Barger does fund 2 deputies that we add to our patrol matrix, and they're out as additional patrol in the area. So we have 2 additional units that are out.
Thank you.
Yes,
Okay.
Mr. Malone?
Councilmember Malone.
Question.
Go ahead.
Okay. Regarding the fireworks on the 4th of July, I mean, it just makes sense that fireworks are prohibited with all the fires we're having in the hills and everywhere else. Countywide, I just think it's ridiculous when I drive my daughter down and I go through another town that has fireworks for sale, and the 2-for-1 fireworks and then another one. Is there any, I mean, we all enjoy them under a certain regulation, but is there anything in the works where maybe countywide we're not focused on?
The unincorporated areas, it's all illegal. You cannot have fireworks in the unincorporated area. But many cities do still allow fireworks. Pasadena does not allow fireworks
does,
at all.
Denver does.
Right, and you would
Surrounding
have
areas, and they're close to us.
right. So you would have to go to their city and ask their cities if they would outlaw fireworks.
Because isn't that a threat to our hillside when people go
It's a
and
threat
light
to
them?
everybody's
Another- yeah.
hillside. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, well, I don't see any other hands. from
Okay, I
the
just have
council.
one introduction, if I just would have a minute. I brought one of my, one of the 2 commanders from East Patrol Division, Commander Caron Jacob, and she'd just like to approach and speak with the town council. Commander?
Thank you. Mr. Chairman and members of the council, thank you. My name's Caron Jacob, and as Captain Stuckey said, I am assigned to East Patrol Division, and Altadena is one of my stations along with Crescenta Valley and Temple Station. So I just wanted to come introduce myself. I'm spent most of my career here in the San Gabriel Valley. I'm very familiar with Altadena and the surrounding areas, so I'm happy to be here, and I look forward to working with all of you. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you so much. When you can, if you have a card, to give it to the recording secretary.
I'll send you an email also with her.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, welcome, thank you. All right, you still, oh, you done?
Any
Thank
other
you.
questions?
Thank you so much, Captain.
All right, thank you.
All right. Moving on to the annual county fire, and Councilmember, she's here?
No, that's someone else.
Yeah. Oh, okay. My apologies to you. You had informed me that you will be doing that, so, okay.
Good evening, council. I do have our activity report, so if you allow me to pass these out, there you go. There are 2 pages, so just pass one. Yeah, just pass one, yeah. There's.
And also, please introduce yourself for the record.
Sorry, a little confusion there.
If you don't mind, introduce yourself for the record.
Okay, good evening. I am Anderson Mackey. I am the your local assistant fire chief. I'm here for Maria Geiken, who is on vacation, and I will like to present our activity report for the month of May. So I'll begin when everyone has their report. So, yeah, just- if I could add something about the fireworks to the community.
Okay.
LA County Fire Department, if you go to our website next week, and we should have a list of all the approved firework shows that you can visit in all of the counties. So, and I know they do have one here in I'm sorry, not La Cañada, but Altadena Country Club. So, okay, so my report for the month of May. We had a total of 291 responses, 7 of which were fires. 236 of those were medical calls, 7 service calls, 6 hazardous condition calls, and 35 good intent calls. We had 237 patients that were seen. The majority of those were persons being sick, chest pain, difficulty breathers, and several unconscious patients. We had a total of 188 patients that were transported. 76 of those were transported via ALS, it means paramedic ambulance, and 112 of those were transported by basic life support, which means just an ambulance company with an EMT. So page 2, we had a total of several fires there. We have one garage fire, a couple of cooking fires, one structure fire over off of Midlothian, 2025 Midlothian, and the others were of little small fires in the area. And you can see the other incidents were hazardous conditions were throughout Altadena area. Traffic collisions were up with a total of 11 throughout the city. So, any questions?
Any questions? Okay, Councilmember White.
Yes, I noticed the number of wires down. Can you speak to that at all? Was there some reason for that?
You know, I can't really speak to these calls on how the wire's down. A lot of times it could be either cable wires. Doesn't mean it's high tension wires. It could have a wire down in the street from,
Okay.
could
Not
be from
necessarily high
an
tension.
arc or a truck passing by or something. So can't really speak to those, but the cause of those. But we do go on a lot of those, and we'll usually coordinate the area off and call for the utility company to come out and secure it.
Any further questions from council? Okay, thank you so much. We appreciate the great work and the detail in which you present the report. We did get a copy of the report, I believe, a week ago. So
Okay,
it was
perfect.
also nice getting it again.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right.
On the website, too.
And for the community, this information is on the website. So if you need additional details, you can go to the altadena.towncouncil.org, and you will find this information there. So moving on to CERT 3.4, and that will be Deb Halberstadt.
It's taller than me. Hi, I'm Deb Halberstadt. I'm the civilian coordinator for CERT for the Altadena LASD station. And this is now a quarterly report. So in the quarter, in April, we have our meetings on the second Wednesday of every month. In April, we studied and discussed power outages and what you might do in large and small power outages to help yourselves and your families. In May, we talked about toxic or hazmat events, and also we did practice rescue carries, of which there are many different kinds. And in this past June or last week, we talked about triage and had a PowerPoint presentation. Nancy Darling also participated in that from our radio group alert. So I just please ask you to invite your friends and your census tracts to join us on the second Wednesday of every month from 5:30 to 7 here at the Community Center. And the next meeting is July 11th. Any questions?
Any questions from council?
Thank you.
Okay,
Oh,
yes,
yes?
there's a
It's
question.
not,
Yes, Pat?
not a question, but a comment. I mean, I know what CERT does, but just to hear the things that, specific things that you're doing each month makes it more interesting, and it's something that hopefully we can get information, or more interest from the community when we tell them, these are the specific things that are being carried out, carried out. So thank you for that.
And thank you for that, Pat. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your report. 3.5, map your neighborhood, Mr. Van der Velde.
Thank you very much for letting us speak this evening on behalf of Map Your Neighborhood in Altadena. For those of you who don't know, Map Your Neighborhood is a disaster preparedness program. A lot of you received the red bags that we were handing out. It's a 9-step program, and it basically caters to how you can help yourself, your family, and your property. And then also, after you take care, within that first hour or so, take care of yourself, you go out into the neighborhood and you come together as a community to help each other, those that would need that help. So just as a show of hands right now, if there was a 7+ magnitude earthquake tonight, would anybody here be ready to shelter in place for 2 weeks? Food, water, and the likes. All right. I think I can do 2 weeks. All right. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that. Well, I do also see a few hands that didn't come up, so please check us out because the moment that we have that disaster is the moment you don't have time to prepare anymore. And it's just imperative for yourself, your family, your property, and your neighborhood to come together to help each other out. So the numbers that we've been doing, we've got over 482 facilitators that have been trained in Altadena to date. That equates to 1,182 households that are involved, and that is about 7.75% of the population of Altadena. So we've got a lot of people that are still interested. We've got many neighborhoods. We've got probably about 50 neighborhoods that are waiting to do their neighborhood. So please get interested, because when that big one hits, we're gonna need each other, and we're gonna just need to be there for each other. So if you want any more information, our email address is msnrsvp@gmail.com. That's myNRSVP@gmail.com. And if you would like any more information on it's a national program. There's Map Your Neighborhood. Let's see, what is that? I think that was, mapyourneighborhood.org, or www.mapyourneighborhood.org. Or there's another website that's called Span Disaster. It's a very good website that'll give you more information. We also have a Facebook page. Please, if you're on Facebook, visit our Facebook page. We have training coming up July 15th at the Altadena Town and Country Club. So it's free. It's a facilitator training. If you don't want to facilitate your own neighborhood, please just come to learn for yourself, and for your family also. So the July 15th at Altadena Town and Country Club, and then July 28th at Christ the Shepherd Church. We'll be having a facilitator training there also. At Christ the Shepherd? Oh, what time? The Christ the Shepherd on the 28th is a Saturday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And 3 to 5:30. And then at Altadena Town and Country Club on the 15th, that's from 4 to 6:30. Yeah. Are there any other questions?
Any questions from council? Okay, as usual, thank you so much.
Okay.
You said you have covered 7.75%.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And our goal is to, within the first 3 years, which we're coming up on at the end of our third year, our goal is 10%. So we are pretty much on track for that.
Yeah.
And then some. So we're not going to give up, Altadena, so please join us.
There's a question from Councilmember
I have a
Malone.
quick question, just a thought. When you're talking about if everyone's prepared for 2 weeks, you know, we have these devices now you see in some places you can buy, like the straw where you can clean water by sucking through the straw, or filters and stuff.
That's true.
It would seem the biggest source of water is swimming pools. Is there a device that can take the chemicals out?
No.
You know, like the straws you
is-
can buy and things like this, it would be...
There is nothing on the market that, and we discourage, the pool water, you can only be assured to use your pool water for sanitation purposes. You cannot drink your pool water. Do not. It will be a much bigger problem
And
than.
there's nothing can filter it out.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm sure there's many high-tech things, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Just, I'm not sure if you're the
Beyond.
answer, just thought.
yeah. Yeah, sure.
Dr. Millicent Wilson, Emergency Medicine EMS Agency Disaster Unit. And to answer your question, water is the most important thing in your disaster kit. You cannot live for very long without water. So in our bags, we put information about blue can water, which has a 50-year shelf life. And your pool water you can use to wash your hands, wash your dishes, and bathe, but you cannot drink it. And water is the most important thing. So we encourage everyone to get at minimum 2 weeks supply of water.
What would be the average for a 2-week supply per person?
1 gallon per person per day,
Per day, so you're looking at,
and more if you have pets.
so 14 gallons per person
For a 2-week
in
supply.
2 weeks, okay.
Yes. Any more questions?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And see, that this is what you get when you go to your training. And
That
so
is
this-
absolutely correct.
Yeah, so,
Just one more thing on the water. So we say 1 gallon per person per day for 2 weeks, and the normal person, to put it in perspective, uses upwards of 100 gallons per day. Think about that. So have a lot of water on hand. Thank you very much.
thank you. Okay, now we move on to the general public comment. I'll turn it over to our Vice Chair and Councilmember Sutherlen.
Okay, let's start with Rudy Rivera. There he is.
Good evening. My name is Rudy Rivera, and I'm representing the Los Angeles County Department of Public Works in Alhambra. I'm here to provide an update to this town council. We had previously provided an update on April 17th regarding the Devil's Gate Reservoir Sediment Removal and Management Project. The project involves building and improving access roads, vegetation clearance, habitat restoration, and removal of 1.7 million cubic yards of sediment over 4 years. In hopes of being able to start the project this year, we advertised the project on May 14th. Currently, Public Works staff is working closely with state and federal agencies to obtain the necessary permits to be able to award the project in August. If everything goes according to plan, the contractor will start work in November with construction of the access roads and vegetation clearance to be done by the end of January 2019. The sediment removal would then start after the storm season in April 2019 and continue until October 15th and may continue until November 30th, depending on the storm season. The sediment removal will be conducted annually for 4 years, and we expect the project to be completed by December 2022. Additional information is available online at www.devilsgateproject.com, or you can email us at devilsgateproject@dpw.lacounty.gov. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Any questions from council? Okay, let's start with Councilmember Wong.
Hi.
Hello, Dorothy.
Yes, so the access roads that you're going to work on.
That's correct.
It's my understanding that the Altadena side, or the east side, is the road that primarily everything is kind of entering from.
They'll be entering through
And then
there.
exit routes will be based on school year.
That's correct.
So is there
and
another
time.
road that you're working on?
No, it's that one, and then the access roads on the Berkshire side. Those are there. They're going to be improved.
But not used for the haul route?
They'll
just
should be exiting through there.
Exiting.
Exiting, but not
Okay.
entering through there.
And then can Altadena or any other community members, because vegetation is mature,
It's grown, yes.
riparian habitat,
Yes.
and with the reduction of the sediments
Mhm.
from 2.4 to 1.7,
Yes.
there was not a reduction in the habitat removal. So
the
it's
quantity
my
of it?
understanding it's still the same amount of habitat removal, which is called vegetation. So can the community come together and sort of speak out, or why can't, maybe you can't answer this now, but
Yeah, we'd have to follow
we
up with that.
really love to have a voice in not only what happens with 60 acres of matured trees.
Yeah,
and
the vegetation
habitat.
area acreage will be 41, and then another 23 up north.
Yeah, on the
I don't know,
north
it says
end.
about 65 acres.
Yeah, so 40 acres or so.
Will be permanent maintenance
Uh-huh.
area.
So that would be good to kind of consider.
Okay, you can
leaving a
email
little
me.
bit of
I
that.
gave Judy my
Okay,
card.
thank you. And then the last thing is the recreational mapping. So as all of the sediment's being removed, it would be great if the community can have a voice in, once everything gets moved around.
Yes.
On really the recreational asset that the Hahamunga is to all
Yeah,
of our
that-
surrounding communities.
That may be something you want to also communicate with the city of Pasadena as well.
And the county as well.
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
both of us. Thank you. Any more questions?
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Karen Gibson.
Doesn't sound like it's on. Can you hear me? Oh,
Yeah.
it's coming on, okay, sorry. My name's Karen Gibson, and I appreciate the chance to talk to you and to our community members here about the upcoming Neighbors Building a Better Altadena meeting that's going to happen right here on Saturday, the 23rd. It's our first time in the new location, so we hope to see you here. We get together at 9 for coffee and chat, and then the meeting goes from 9:30 till about 11. The agenda this week includes guest speaker Jan Sanders. Jan's a retired director of the Pasadena Public Libraries, and she's the former president of the American Library Association, the National Association. She'll be discussing the roles and responsibilities of library trustees in the rapidly changing library world. There'll be time for discussion and Q&A, which I think will be useful for anyone thinking about running, okay, not you people, but anybody else thinking about running for our very own library board of trustees in November. Filing will open July 16th and run through August 10th. So even if you're thinking at all about running, you have to get to it. But I think it'll also be helpful to hear from Jan if you're planning to vote in November's election. Also at the meeting, we'll be getting an update on efforts to reform Pasadena Police Department's use of force policy. And for that, we must thank the town council for the forceful letter that you wrote, and very cogent letter, and I think it's having an impact. And we'll update previous meeting topics too, but we hope to see you there. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Lisa Griffin?
Hello, council members and community. My name is Lisa Griffin. I'm a resident in Altadena. I live on the 500 block of Mendocino Street. Been a resident of Altadena for about 37 years. I'm here because we have an issue in our neighborhood on Mariposa. There's a disruptive rooster that there's been a lot of commentary on next door a few months ago about this rooster. So, we've all been kind of living with it, but it's really becoming a problem because the rooster is, doing its thing day and night. Every morning at 4:30, you can come by and you'll hear this rooster. So my neighbor who was supposed to attend with me, she couldn't make it. She contacted the Pasadena Humane Society, and they sent a petition for 3 of us to sign and then do a journal for 7 days, but I said, well, that's Pasadena, we're LA County. So I'm here to just confirm what jurisdiction, what do we follow to see this through? Because this is a nuisance animal noise petition. And it came from Pasadena Humane Society with instructions.
That's Dr. Thomas and, that's you and Gloria. Yes. Ms. Griffin, we have your address, we've got your Gmail number, your email number, and either Dr. Thomas or Gloria Sanyika will be in touch with you.
Okay, thank you.
I'll give you a copy of this. Right. Okay. Lynn Rabin?
Good evening. Can you hear me? Okay. My name's Lynn Rabin, and I live in Altadena. And on one of the hottest nights recently in Altadena, pickleball came to Loma Alta Park. On Thursday, June 14th, as part of the Parks After Dark program, which you've heard about, we had 50 participants arrive to play or to learn how to play the fastest growing sport in America. Some of the reasons the sport is so attractive is that it can be played by any age or physical ability. Former tennis and/or racquetball players love pickleball because it's so much less stress on our joints, our aging joints. And we have one very fine wheelchair player who's in Glendale who plays. The schools all over the country are teaching it in PE classes. I also heard, by the way, something about money for parks. Most seniors play doubles, and no court reservations or partner is needed. You show up and play. And it's a wonderfully social sport, providing the opportunity to meet a wide range of people from all over the country and all over the world. And we do this for free. There is no charge. The upside of the program is all equipment and instruction are provided for free. Participants seem to have a wonderful experience. And our regional director, Anthony Montanez, showed up and saw the number of people who were there. And his assistant will be there a week from this coming Thursday. The downside is most of the equipment, the nets and the paddles, were loaned to us. I purchased all the balls and the baskets to hold them. We had to use painter's tape to line the courts, which we will have to do every week for the 6 weeks and then some. We hope those lines will be painted when the courts are resurfaced. And ultimately, we would like to have permanent nets. Any questions?
Yeah. How much longer do you have on that to finish your thoughts?
Not much.
Go ahead.
One tennis court provides 4 pickleball courts because our playing area is so much smaller. This would conserve our time and energy for playing rather than setting up and taking down the courts. So we can accommodate 16 people where a tennis court can accommodate 4.
Thank you so much, and we will definitely comply. So the community has heard you.
Thank you.
And we hope that they will come out and enjoy pickleball.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Pauline Daniels?
Good evening. Thank you so much, Chairman, for your remarks about Route 88 at the beginning of your meeting. And I thank you for the opportunity to speak to you again about Route 88. I want to share information about the route that's also known as Transit to the Trail bus line between the Gold Line Memorial Station and the Sam Merrill Trailhead at the top of Lake Avenue, which has 3 new stops in Altadena. Since your April 10 meeting, we have established the Keep Altadena Beautiful Committee and engaged the Altadena community to email concerns and issues about the bus line to Pasadena Transit, to call Supervisor Barger's office to discuss concerns and issues, but sadly we found there's little to no response, to monitor bus ridership, to gather signatures from neighbors face-to-face and door-to-door, to establish an online petition at the website keepaltadenabeautiful.com. To date, we have well over 100 neighbors that have responded so far. To send a letter to your body, the Altadena Town Council, on May 22nd, asking that your council issue a written and public statement or recommendation on Bus Line 88 to Supervisor Barger and Los Angeles County Transportation Authorities by August 2018, so that the council is on record well in advance of any effort to obtain permanent funding for Bus Line 88. To send a letter to Terry Tornick, Mayor of Pasadena, asking for his investigation and action, and we have also exchanged emails with Mayor Tornick regarding misleading or deceptive ridership numbers. Overall, we have been encouraged by the response by neighbors, by their feedback in person, online, and by putting signs in their yards to show their opposition. Since there was no community outreach, I'm about 30 seconds from the end. Since there was no community outreach or engagement, we consistently heard and hear from the vast majority of neighbors how appalled they are that there was no effort to engage us before Route 88 was approved. In the words of one Altadena, quote, "Our democracy was usurped by the supervisor, Pasadena, and the disrespect of ATC to even talk with us in advance." We learned on April 21 the council members perhaps were involved in a planning meeting in advance of the launch of the April 7th launch of the line. We also consistently hear and heard that a bus line is not a magical solution to the parking issue, especially since all can see that no one gets off or on the bus at the trail. There are many problems that neighbors cite related to the bus, including health and safety and security and parking and property value issues, to name a few. But there needs to be a comprehensive plan. Imagine not being able to have a birthday party, a baby shower, or friends or family over for the weekend. Almost every neighbor that we spoke with that signed a petition that has come in online has rich feedback and valuable ideas about how to improve the situation that is causing trauma in our neighborhood, but no one asked us. Finally, on June 15, some of you may have seen the online article in the San Gabriel Valley Tribune about the popular transit to the trail and a possible extension of that by LA County. Route 88 ridership numbers were reported. The numbers reported are misleading at best. Our bus monitoring documents ridership. One example, on May 26, when, as you know, Councilmember Wong used social media to promote a hike beginning at 7:30 a.m., our neighbors were inundated with doors slamming, loud talking, extraordinary foot traffic starting at daylight. We monitored the bus ridership that day. No one rode up to the trail on Route 88. This was the holiday weekend, except Miss Wong did get on the bus with her bike. During the roughly 2 hours spent at the trailhead talking with people, no one got on or off the bus that left every 30 minutes. All of the other times we have monitored the bus in April, May, and June, no one has taken it past Mariposa. I have one more sentence, sir.
I gave you like 5 minutes, and we do not do that. So the town council has already set up a forum for this. So that's the time that we need to discuss this.
I respect you, sir. I do, and I appreciate that you have given us time to talk about this in April. One of the questions I have for you that I'd like response on is that we have over 100 people to invite. And whether or not this body or this council hall can accommodate that, I think is one of the considerations for your group and your body.
We got your letter, we got everything, and we thank you for the time that we have. And once
I'll put cards on the back as well, and people who would interested in the additional information, you can get them there. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, move on.
Dr. Coleman.
Good evening, council members, members of the community. My name is Ann Coleman. I'm here to announce a third Thursday talk this Thursday, June 21, hosted by Altadena Heritage. The talk is Climate Change, Where We Are and What We Can Do. Our speaker is Carol Kravitz. She's not a scientist, but she knows a lot about climate change. And we can ask her why. Some of us who have lived in Altadena a long time may have noticed that our summers have gotten really hot. 40 years ago, we didn't have as many days over 100 as we do now. And we could ask her why Altadena is affected this way. It's a bigger temperature change than the global climate change, which is a degree or a degree and a half worldwide. Our temperatures are about 7 degrees hotter in the summer than they used to be, and than they would be if we were living in a rural area. So come to this meeting Thursday night, ask questions, learn something. It's free and open to the public, and refreshments will be provided.
Here?
Here, right here in the community center, 7 p.m. This Thursday, 2 days from now. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay. I heard two time frames. I heard someone say 6:30, but it's 7:30, correct?
This talk is at 7.
7 o'clock.
7. You can come a bit early and enjoy refreshments and conversation, but it starts at 7. Did I say 7:30? I'm sorry, I meant 7 o'clock. Okay, thanks.
I heard somebody else. Okay, thank you so much. You heard it, 7 o'clock, right here, on Thursday, 2 days from now. All right, moving on to special presentation, and I will turn it over to Council Member Matthews.
Ashley Davis, Associate Curator for the County of Los Angeles Department of Parks and Recreation, will present a special presentation of the poster layout of the Buffalo Soldiers Interpretive Panel. The permanent signage is being installed at Loma Alta Equestrian Park. Ms. Davies has been in the position for the last 9.5 years, where she works on a variety of projects, such as authorizing and designing history panels for county parks, caring for archive collections, historic preservation of historical facilities, exhibit design work for new nature centers, and environmental compliance. The Historical Society will maintain the possession of the poster at the end of this meeting. Ms. Davies?
Good evening, Council and members of the community. I'm Ansley Davies. As she said, I'm the curator with the County Parks Department. And recently, I've been working on creating an interpretive panel that discusses the history of the Buffalo Soldiers. This is going to be installed over at the Loma Alta Equestrian Center, which has been dedicated in the honor of the Buffalo Soldiers. So we thought it would be a really great addition to the park to tell a little bit of the history about the Buffalo Soldiers rather than just something that said dedicated to the Buffalo Soldiers. So I did a lot of research and found some great archival images. This is currently being fabricated, and we're hoping that it's going to be installed sometime next month if everything goes well with fabrication. And we're really looking forward to seeing this installed at the park.
Okay.
Any questions? Yeah.
Did the council members get a chance to see this, or should we swing it
So I'm
around
going to
so
leave
that
this
you can
here
see?
so that people will have a chance to look at it after the meeting or,
We're going to move it.
yeah, yes.
Would you be planning a installation ceremony?
I do believe we will have an unveiling. The date hasn't been determined yet. I know that the Parks Department is really busy with the Parks After Dark and all of the programming that's going on. Summer is the high time for parks. So an unveiling is in the works, but it may happen after summer.
Any other question? We will entertain one from the audience. Go ahead.
Is this going to be in the form of a plaque or a statue, or what is it?
Yes, so the sign panel is going to be a screen printed aluminum, so similar to the durability of a stop sign. And it's going to be mounted on a base similar to this. It's called a National Park Service, a standard cantilevered base, so that someone on a wheelchair would be able to see it. So it'll be lower down, but it will be angled like this. So when you're entering the driveway and where the equestrians enter the arena at the equestrian center, they'll be able to see the sign when they're coming in. So that people going by on the sidewalk could also see it if they want to, but you'll notice it if you're on your horse heading into the arena.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. And can we have somebody to move this so that help? Councilmember Matthews, is it my understanding that this may occur on the anniversary of the, can you comment a little bit on that?
I had spoken with Ansley about that, Ms. Davis, I'm sorry, and that is the push, that is the goal, but as she indicated, we really don't know. Should that happen, community and council, it would be the 152nd anniversary of the Buffalo Soldiers, 9th and 10th Cavalry. And so that's why we're really pushing that. And the celebration is in San Diego, and I had shared that with Ms. Davies, but that is what our fingers are hoping for, crossed for.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we're hoping that the installation date will happen by the end of July, hopefully before the anniversary, the 152nd anniversary.
A question from Councilmember De La Torre.
Actually, it was just a comment on the placement. Would it be better to put it in the back so community members could see it during the meeting and then council? I mean, because we can't really see it right now, so.
Okay, sure.
Just a suggestion.
Okay. All right. Councilmember Matthews, any further questions? Was there a request for a letter or a plaque or something?
No, there is a request for the 152nd anniversary.
That's correct.
Yes,
Okay.
that I will be attending, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
The celebration for the 152nd anniversary of the 9th and 10th Cavalry will be in San Diego.
Yes.
And this council, because of our support and our love for the great service that these individuals had to endure, have given to our country. Whoever is going to go, I believe that you'll be going.
Yes.
This council will be sending something along with that in recognition, because we want to show that we definitely are in support and we appreciate the work that was done and is still being done because of the mentorship that we all enjoy.
And Mr. Dennis will be going. No.
All right.
No, he will be going as well.
Oh, he'll be going, okay. All right, so,
He's one of the oldest living. Sure. Yes.
all right. Councilmember Matthews? Oh, okay, go ahead and do that. And
His son will introduce him.
Thank you, Council. My name is Jeffrey Dennis. I'm proud to, you can stand up, Dad. My dad is a little hard of hearing, but he is one of the original Buffalo soldiers. He served in World War II. And I've heard all the stories, and he even dressed up for us, but I think he just has a few things to say. They're limited on time, Dad.
Yeah.
I know you're limited on time. I'm sorry. Thank you. This is the second time I've been here to things, but I don't know if a lot of you don't know what today is. Does anyone know what today is?
Yes.
The 19th of June?
Juneteenth.
Right, right. Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves in February, but it didn't get down south to the 19th of June. So all of the southern states celebrate 19th of June. This is Juneteenth. This is a big holiday for all the blacks in the South, okay? But as far as the Buffalo Soldier, thank you for inviting me. I've been here the second time, and it's quite a few of us. We're dying out. I am, 93 now? I was drafted in World War II, and when I was 17 years old, 1942, World War II, and I became a Buffalo Soldier from Oklahoma, and I got drafted and went to Fort Sill, and they sent me and about 28 other black soldiers from Fort Sill to Camp Lockett, California, which is right across the border from Tecate, and that's where I became a Buffalo Soldier. And our mission there was we guarded the border, not from the Latinos, but from German and Japanese spies were crossing from Mexico into US of A. So we did border patrol on horseback 24/7, right? And my unit, we captured 7 Germans trying to cross the border from Mexico into US of A, right? But I got quite a few of them medals, and I've been to Washington, D.C. 4 times. I've been to Sacramento about 5 times. I've been to, last month, I've been to the mayor of Los Angeles for the event doing there. But I've been to quite a few cities and towns. And now we have about, I'll say, about 42 chapters all over the United States of Buffalo Soldiers. But like I say, when most of them, the original ones, we're dying out. And the ones you see in the parades, those are they are reenactment people. And the last time I was in the Buffalo Parade, it was about 12 years ago. I was in a covered wagon. But all of you see them now, they're not Buffalo soldiers. Those are reenactment people. None of them are Buffalo soldiers. Of course, you see, all of Buffalo soldiers have died out. And I got wounded twice in the service. I don't know if you remember General Patton fighting Rommel in the desert. We were scouts. Okay, I'll leave it.
No, it's okay.
But I got wounded twice here, and it hit tip of my kidney and came out in my back. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Anyway, thank you for inviting me.
Okay, committee reports. Okay, land use, and that will be, who is presenting, the vice chairman? Okay. Okay, vice chairman of the land use committee, Councilmember Robertson.
So the Land Use Committee met on June 5th, and we took action on an item that I'm going to turn over to the council reps for that census tract, a parking permit for the Super King property, or for the property owner of Super King. I'm going to turn it over to Nestor and Veronica to tell you more.
Thank you. So I provided each of the council members with an updated report on the form, and it's the only difference would be the change in the motion and then the update, the tab that says update to June ATC meeting. I mean, land use meeting, I should say. But for the sake of, clarity and for the record, I'll report a majority of what we have here. So the project narrative, it's this shopping center, the Super King Shopping Center, is located at 2260 Lincoln Avenue. It's currently zoned as a C3 unlimited commercial. It contains 2 dining uses, 3 retail uses, and a general office use. Based on the land uses, square footage, and the incorporation of a reduction in parking requirements as a result of the available bicycle parking on site, the adjusted total required parking spaces is, per the zoning code, is 178. They are proposing to provide 162 spaces on site at the shopping center and lease 16 parking spaces at the adjacent commercial shopping center, which is located at 2230 Lincoln Avenue, hereafter known as a 24-hour fitness shopping center, in order to meet the code. The off-site parking spaces are in excess for the 24-hour shopping center, and they have always been designated for use by the Super King Shopping Center, and it will not impact the 24-hour shopping center from meeting their current code requirements. In regard to the Super King Shopping Center, they are not adding any additional square footage to any of the buildings, changing the land uses, or rezoning the shopping center. They are simply memorializing a parking agreement that was previously provided by the 24-hour fitness shopping center when the 2 shopping centers were under common ownership. Present is George Garikian, the owner of the Super King Shopping Center. He's available afterwards in case there's some questions that I might not be able to answer. So in a follow-up to the May land use meeting, Councilmember Jones spoke with the planner about adding a condition to have employees park at the assigned off-site parking spots to see, 1, if it was allowed, and 2, if they would entertain such a condition. And the planner stated that the county, that 1, it is allowable, and that the county would have added the condition if the ATC had it anyway. We also had a in-person follow-up to the May 2018 land use meeting, which was Councilmember Jones, myself, and the owner, and we went to go speak with all the businesses on the property. We spoke to the manager or supervisor on duty of each business to discuss their current parking policies, and we also informed them of the proposed condition, and each indicated they were willing to implement the policies to follow the condition. But the following is the parking situation and policies for all the businesses in the shopping center. So Super King, they vary in number of workers assigned. It's a very large building, so it varies depending on time of day. But they already have a policy to have workers either park at the off-site parking lot or not on the on-site parking lot in general. Panda Express has approximately 5 workers per shift and about an equal number driving. Their current policy is to park on-site. Tacos Ensenada has approximately 5 workers per shift with approximately 3 driving. Their current policy is to park on-site. And the Verizon Wireless Retail Store has approximately 1 to 2 workers per shift and each worker drives. And their current policy is to park on-site. The owner, George Gricken, he also ensured that as the owner, he would ensure that the businesses would adhere to the condition. And in a follow-up to the June land use meeting, we wanted to clarify that all the parking spaces on-site and off-site have already been established, and no new construction or restriping is needed. Furthermore, the 16 parking spaces at the adjacent 24-hour fitness lot have already have signage that indicates that they are reserved for the Super King Shopping Center only. A community member expressed online about RVs and people living in their vehicles at the 24-hour shopping center, 24-hour fitness shopping center. However, after discussing with the community member and researching the matter on my own, we determined that the issue wasn't in the actual proposed 16 parking spots. It was actually on the lower level. So we're working, Councilmember Jones and myself are working with that community member to follow up on that issue, but it has no bearing to the current plan. And that's about it. Do you guys have any questions?
Okay, so we will entertain your motion.
I'll turn it to Councilmember Jones for the reading of the motion.
I move that a letter be sent to the Los Angeles County Department of Regional Planning recommending approval of parking use permit number 201300005, project number R2013-01662 for the property located at 2260 Lincoln Avenue, known as the Super King Shopping Center, with the following condition. Employees of the businesses within the shopping center must park in the assigned off-site parking spaces.
And I'll second.
Council, you have heard the motion and it is properly seconded. Any discussions? Ready for a vote?
Is there any public comment on that?
Okay.
No, there's none.
Okay, there are no public comments. Last chance. Anyone from the public that would like to make a comment on this particular agenda item? Okay, there are none. So, council member, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposing? Anyone abstaining? Okay, it is approved.
Great.
All right. Election Committee 6.2.
Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Chair, Council, and community. The June 2018 Election Committee report is as follows. First, we will provide an update on the ATC election process. Due to the cancellation of the polling, the public voting component of the election, we released an explanatory statement to the community which reads as follows. The Altadena Town Council Election Committee is releasing this statement regarding the cancellation of the polling, the public voting component of the Altadena Town Council election. The Altadena Town Council election is not canceled. When the application process concluded, we found ourselves in a position of having no contested seats, which means that none of the census tract openings had more than one candidate running. A thorough and careful review of the bylaws, including the portion requiring minimum votes and review of the election rules, was completed. After a full explanation to the council during the May 15th ATC meeting, the election committee moved to cancel the polling, the public voting component of the election. The ATC members then conducted a thoughtful and detailed discussion of the matter and voted in favor of the motion. Following this action, each candidate was allowed to make a statement. Moving forward, this is all still the statement. Moving forward, candidates have been invited to attend the Neighbors Building a Better Altadena Candidate Forum on May 30th at the Altadena Center, at the Altadena Community Center from 7 to 8:30. All candidates will be presented as council members elect at the regularly scheduled ATC meeting on June 19th at 7:30. At 7 p.m. Candidates are scheduled to be sworn in and seated on the council at the July 17th ATC meeting as usual. And at that time, this will complete the election process. If further explanation is needed, please contact the election committee chair. And the information was provided in that statement. Now, with the release of that statement and tonight's presentation of the council members-elect, again, that will pretty much conclude the work of the 2018 Election Committee. So with that, Mr. Chair, it is my pleasure to present the following 2018 election candidates as council members-elect. And they will be sworn in at our July 17th ATC meeting. In fact, I would like to ask our chair if he would like to call them up by name, and then he can welcome them.
Okay, just to add to what, first of all, thank you, Chair, to the Election Committee. All the 8 candidates will technically be considered council member-elect, but since they are still seated, so we will like to mention the 3 new council members that have never served on the council. And the 3 plus the other 5 will be sworn in at the July 17 meeting. So the 3 council members will be Mr. Jeff Simmons, and right here. Well, you can come on up and at least face it. Stand up, it's okay. And Mr. Aaron Shida and Mr. Okay. So the other candidate or council member-elect is not in, but it is Mr. Antonio Becerra. Okay. So again, I would like to entertain a motion from the election committee chair or her designate to certify the candidates.
Mr. Chair, I move that we certify the incoming candidates.
Second.
Okay, the motion has been properly moved and double seconded. Council member, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposing? Anyone abstaining? Okay, and that is your council member elect that will be sworn in at the July 17, 2018 Altadena Town Council meeting.
Now, I would like to finish. I just have a few words.
Go right ahead.
I would also like to thank my wonderful committee, my vice chair, Council Member Victoria Knapp, and election events coordinator, Council Member Billy Malone, who worked tirelessly with me to make sure that every detail of the election process was followed to the letter. I could not have worked with 2 finer council members, and I appreciate them. We enjoyed the time. We had a lot of fun, and it's been a pleasure to serve as your election committee for this 2018 election uh, council election. Mr. Chair, with that said, I'm going to move for acceptance of this June 19th report.
Thank you. You have heard the motion, and would like to accept that. Is there a second to that?
I second.
I would properly seconded. So all in favor? Aye. Anyone opposing? Anyone abstaining? Okay, thank you so much.
All right, that ends our report, and our work is done for the year. Thank you.
Can't wait. Safe Streets Mobility Committee, Councilmember Wong.
Sure, thank you. Thank you, Chairman. I would just like to, let's see, we started out, or we had a town hall on April the 28th, and we had our first public meeting on June 7th. And with that, we went and created our first agenda. And from that, we reported on the survey and results from our town hall. Our town hall prioritized walkability. We had about 35 people give their comments. Sidewalks, most important, crosswalks, also big on the list. And addressing speed. Speed was number 2 issue. Concerns on road design, number 3. Bike facility, 4. And transit, 5. So we did a quick overview of that. Melissa Aldama with the library also went into further detail. Then we went into a breakout visioning based on our priorities that we determined with the mission. So first on the list was safe routes to schools. And we went through that and brought out some action items, as well mapping complete streets, and also looking at streets that residents who attended were concerned about. So we'll have our report out at our next meeting, and because July 5th, it's usually, if you guys want to come, it's the first Thursday of each month, which happens to be July 5th, so we're looking to move it to July 12th. So we'll post that on the town council website. And we also applied for some community grants, so we'll learn more about that and go into further detail. We, in partnership with the library, we're going to propose a project with the Southern California Association of Governments Go Human Community Grant. And then we also have been awarded an educational opportunity with CalWalks. So we're going to talk more about that at our next meeting. And again, focusing on safer streets, safe routes around our schools. And if you want to learn more and get involved, come to the first Thursday, 7 o'clock, usually here at the community center. But because of the 4th of July, we're going to potentially move it to July 12th, and we'll let you know. Thank you.
Thank you, Dorothy. Is there a community relation report, Dr.
Yes.
Thomas? You're on.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. To our Vice Chair, to the council and the community. I'm just going to briefly do updates and present some of the new issues that have been placed in the Community Relations Committee. As you know, the Altadena Historical Society has agreed to share a moment of Altadena history at a glance during our ATC meetings occasionally. So as of June 18th, this is now approved by our executive committee, and we can look forward to the presentations from Altadena Historical. I think we've already enjoyed the Buffalo Soldiers, and I had to step out, but I'm sure that it was announced, but the vice chair was here, Judy, so I'm not sure. But the poster has been released to the Altadena Historical Society to be archived and to be displayed upon request. And I think that's all we have, nothing further at this time on that. The Chamber of Commerce has also offered to have someone come occasionally to one of the new businesses in the community to come to some of our meetings. As of tonight, that has also been approved by the Executive Committee. So we will look forward to partnering with our own Altadena Chamber of Commerce. The issue regarding Transit Route 88, I know that I'm sure that most of that has been mentioned. So do you need me to go over any of these complaints? I think.
No.
No, okay. The Route 88, it's already been shared with the representatives at Los Angeles County. And I don't know if anybody gave out the address, but to submit your comments, if they don't come to us, just send them to transit@cityofpasadena.net or call 626-744-4055. All right, and I believe Representative Billy Malone, if I'm not mistaken, since a lot of the issues are in his area, I think he's working with that personally in his census tract, I believe. All right. The letter of support, I believe that the chair, executive committee, have made a decision, and the chair announced part of his decision early on. Measure A, I believe that the chair said enough about what he wanted said on that issue. And I don't know if anybody spoke on Eden Canyon while I was out, but no. But the Altadena community shared their concerns regarding LA considering transferring ownership of Eden Canyon, the golf course, to the city of Pasadena. The residents expressed their concerns to Supervisor Captain Barger. She responded immediately. LA County will be maintaining ownership of Eden Canyon instead of transferring it to Pasadena. So she said, these are her exact words, I'm just reading them. She said, we are confident that our new contractor will provide high-quality service and make Eden Canyon a premier place to golf. We have nothing further than her comments. Lately, we are getting a lot of complaints regarding the grocery outlet on North Lake Avenue. Many Altadena citizens have expressed concerns regarding the grocery outlet being next to the Aldi store. They feel that our area needs a full-service grocery store and not another discount store with unpredictable stock. The complaint was accepted into our committee, but no further action was requested. Finally, I know everyone was thrilled to have our red bags, and our community thanks Dr. Millicent Wilson, and the bags have already been explained. And so with that, Mr. Chair, we submit this June 28 report to be placed on the ATC website in the community reports section. And thank you. This ends our report. The chair, Dr. Sandra Thomas, the vice chair, Judy Matthews, and the community member is Mr. Elliott Gold.
Okay, thank you so much. Council member, you have heard, and the community, you've heard the report, and there's a request to have the report accepted and to go into our website. Okay, so there's a move, there's a second, and all in favor? Aye. Anyone opposing? Anyone abstaining? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so now we're going into the item number 7, and that will be 7.1, the Altadena Library. Is that Mr. Roy?
Here he
Okay.
is. New father.
Good evening, council members, ladies and gentlemen of the community. I'm going to pass around my newsletter as usual. Thank you so much for having me again. I'm passing around our newsletter that I usually bring every month, and in June, our big thing every June is the start of the summer reading program. So traditionally, libraries have had summer reading programs going back certainly as far as I can remember. I can remember being a kid running into the library in the summer and participating in all the programs with prizes. People may not realize is that these are not just for kids. We have a program for teens and adults as well. And the adult summer reading program is kicking off this Friday with a trivia challenge in the library. So anyone who enjoys trivia might want to swing by. There's prizes weekly for adults if you participate in the program, which have some pretty cool gift cards attached to those weekly drawings. So if you're interested in free stuff and prizes, this is what we use to get people to participate in our program. But the thing is, we don't have to tell people to read. Everybody's reading, I'm sure. You just get free stuff for doing it if you come by the library and tell us you're doing it. So that's the fun part of it. Now, you'll find inside our newsletter, and for those of you who don't have one, I do have a couple extra copies if you're interested, but this is on our library website, and there's also paper copies all over the library if you come by and visit. But inside, there's a little cheat sheet leaflet that has a calendar of our events, and it's color-coded by whether they're a children's event or a teen or adult event or they're happening at our Bob Lucas branch. And that also explains how you get prizes, how you participate, and what all we have going on. So that's the main thing I wanted to present to the council today. We did have an amazing program this past weekend. Some of you may know who Will Wheaton is. He was on Star Trek: The Next Generation. He was in the movie Stand By Me. He's on Big Bang Theory. And he swung by the library on Saturday to give a talk to 300 plus of our community members who were very excited to hear him talk about being a dungeon master for the Dungeons and Dragons game that he's a fervent fan of. So we were very excited to see such a big turnout. And he was so gracious, he actually stopped to meet and greet every single person who came to see him after the program was over. And there were actually people in tears to see him. So you see these kind of things when you watch the old Beatles documentaries where the girls are crying, but to see it in person is something else. So that was fun. We enjoyed it, and I hope the people who attended did as well. And that's it, unless you have any questions for me.
Any questions from council? Sure. Okay, Councilmember Jones.
I want to know if you've been gracious in offering services to council members there and community groups.
Yes.
Are those going to continue?
Yes. So are you specifically referring to printing services?
Yes, and things like that.
So we're in the process of looking at our standard operating procedure for printing in terms of how it affects our budget and how much we're paying in over $10,000 a year in just printing costs for the library. What we want to be able to do is to provide it at cost to the library, to community organizers and community organizations that are nonprofits, so that it costs you very little, but doesn't cost the library over time lots and lots of money. And it kind of got away from us a little bit in terms of people would just show up at the main desk and say, hey, yeah, I'm part of a community organization, I get free printing, where's the printer? and our front desk workers aren't really sure how to discern between, which groups might get a free printing. So it's an issue we're trying to figure out, and I think that we definitely want to provide a service like that. Whether or not it will ultimately be completely free, I'm not 100% sure yet. But I would certainly entertain any emails, opinions, thoughts. If you guys want to let me know how you feel, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, I'm requesting that, and I do a quarterly newsletter, so
Okay.
it's really helpful. And we have a neighborhood watch group, and they have a budget of about $200 a year.
Okay.
And you've made the flyers twice for them. They said that they would only do it every other month, and they would they go up to on Altadena Drive the other month.
And how many pages are the
They
flyer?
do one page front and back.
Okay.
One page front and back, but that's,
Is it color or black and
no,
white?
it's black and white.
It's
black
making
and
it
white,
easier
but my
right there.
newsletter
Okay.
is color. Yeah,
Okay,
but
well-
just think about it.
Certainly,
It's
thank you. Yeah,
needed.
we haven't made any hard, concrete decisions at this time. We're just.
And I did sign up for the adult reading,
Yay!
summer reading.
Okay.
I got my book free.
Oh, wonderful.
And so I,
Yes.
yeah.
And there's a passport
got a
right there. When you
passport.
sign up, you get your passport. and
Yeah.
As you complete activities, you get your
But thank
stamps
you.
and then your free stuff. Thank you so
I
much. I do
appreciate it.
appreciate your input.
We appreciate the library for what they are doing. They kind of coming out of, thinking outside the box and creating things, progressive ideas, engage the community. Success is achieved.
Thank you very much.
Again, any questions from council? Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, Chamber of Commerce?
Just a couple of things. The Chamber of Commerce is also, like the Town Council, working on a new website. The ODEB's website is archaic and slow and not updated. The new one, we're looking at sometime in July to have it out there. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to mention, I wasn't here at the beginning of the meeting. I was running late. So I am Doug Cauliflower right now. I don't know if there was a change. I'm speaking for Doug Cauliflower. And then for those that may or should already know, and I think Judy might touch on it a little bit, but Webster's was recognized as a Small Business of the Year within the 41st Assembly District. And so there will be some kind of recognition by the Chamber. We don't have a date yet. It'll be sometime in July, most likely at the Country Club. So the date on that will, if all those interested in coming, which I think you all should, we can give you updates later. And then the last thing I was going to mention is there are 4 scholarships that we did mention before going to be awarded. 2 will be awarded in July, and that will be College Access, 2 students from College Access, and then 2 students for quality of life are going to be recognized in August, both at the Chamber of Commerce board meetings. That's it.
Thank you so much. Any questions for Councilmember Malone, representing the Chamber, or reporting on behalf of the Chamber? Okay, Collaborate Pasadena, Councilmember Sanyika.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Collaborate Pasadena Leadership Council meeting was held on April the 25th at 6 p.m. at the Flint Ridge Retreat Center. The director gave a budget update, and we reviewed all annual update measured documents. The majority of the meeting was focused, the majority of the meeting time was focused on restructuring the future format of the Collaborate Pasadena to reflect the current budget restraints. And we discussed areas where we could find alternative funding sources. With the understanding that the Collaborate Pasadena has never been an organization to provide direct services, we discussed ways to combine our resources with agencies that provide direct services to better serve the needs of children, thereby giving a more focused support to what is already in operation in the community. With a limited budget, it was stated that we should narrow the scope of services to be more effective and act more as a master connector, information, and referral system for kids. There was also some discussion on where the Collaborate Pasadena could assist the Pasadena Unified School District and help kids academically. There were a few announcements, and then the meeting was adjourned at 7:45. Now, on May 9th, in partnership with the Pasadena Unified School District, the Collaborate Pasadena hosted an educational and informative gathering session with parents, community members, and others around the district's local control accountability plan for 2019. Attended by more than 40 stakeholders, the gathering provided an opportunity to discuss the draft plan and to share questions and concerns with district personnel. In 2013, California passed a law that aimed to revolutionize how school districts receive state funding. The Local Control Funding Formula, or LCFF, gives school districts the autonomy to decide which program and which services to spend state funding on. The LCAP is intended as a comprehensive planning tool to support students' outcome. The Pasadena Unified School District is required to prepare an LCAP, which describes how they intend to meet the annual goals for all pupils. And that concludes my presentation. Our next meeting will be June 27th.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Sanyika, for that report for Collaborate Pasadena. Any questions from council for Councilmember Sanyika? Thank you again. LA County Department of Parks and Recs. And that will be Mr. Estrada.
Good evening, everybody. I want to just introduce myself. I'm Sam Estrada. I'm the Parks and Recreation Manager for the Altadena area, along with the La Crescenta area as well. It's actually a return for me. I used to work at both Farnsworth Park and Loma Alta Park years ago when I came into the Parks and Recreation Department. I've also been part of the Altadena area since I was probably in junior high. My father was at the Altadena station. He was Deputy Sam Estrada, oversaw the public relations, and he actually started the summer concert series at Farnsworth Park. So, returning home. Thank you. So I'm here tonight to give my report about the programs and activities that we are having at all the Altadena parks this summer. Currently, we are running the summer program, the Parks After Dark program, and that is being held at Loma Alta Park, as you heard earlier this evening. At all of our parks, we are running the summer camp. However, we are pretty much full at all of our parks at the time. That's not to say that every park doesn't have spaces throughout certain weeks, but if you're looking to get your child or grandchild or know of anybody that would like to register for the program, they still can. They just have to check online to register, and they can select the weeks that they would like to register for the program. The good thing about Loma Alta Park is that we are an educational STEAM program. And the program is basically, we added if you're familiar with STEAM, we added the E for environmental. So it's a great program, and this was actually the first week for that. And so the enrollment is full, but like I said, you can still try and get in. You just have to contact the park you would like to have your child in and see if you can get them enrolled in the program. As I said, we started our Parks After Dark at Loma Alta Park last Thursday, and it's going to go all the way until August 4th. And we have various events every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with some special events going on. We just had our Juneteenth celebration at Loma Alta Park this past Saturday, and it was a wonderful event that Ms. Penny Daniels put on for the community. This Saturday, we actually have a movie night, and we will be showing Black Panther. So we hope everybody comes out. It's going to be Black Panther, and it's going to be at sundown. So be sure to bring your blankets, your chairs. There's going to be popcorn, and there will also be music and everything to give everybody a good time before the movie starts, because it does, as you know, it takes a little bit while for the sun to go down right there. So it has to be dark enough for us to show the movie, but it is free for everybody that comes out. And this is all thanks to Catherine Barger for providing the funding for this. We also do various events. As you also heard, we are doing pickleball. That's a new thing that we're doing at Loma Alta, so we're looking to continue that going forward. We also do sports for the kids, walking clubs, garden tours, cooking classes, parent classes, line dancing, African dance, yoga, chess, and teen council. So that's all going on Thursdays. And then Saturdays, we also have a bunch of events. I've put the flyers out there for everybody to see. And you can also check online on the LA County Parks and Recreation website to see what's offered at Loma Alta Park. Also, during the Parks After Dark program, we are offering free swim to the public. So if you would like to also swim during the evening, it is from 6 to 8. So if you want to come out, be sure to come. We had some people come a little bit later thinking it was going to be open until 10 o'clock, but it is only until 8 o'clock. We are also having the beach bus that does come. It started on June 12th, and that does go all the way until September 3rd. So anybody interested in going to Santa Monica It is $3 for children and adults, and it is $1.50 for seniors and persons with disabilities. We are currently doing a parent project for parents. It's a new and developing program that we've been doing all across LA County, and it creates a plan to manage the serious behaviors and problems within the family. And it's a 10-week session, and it's Mondays and Saturdays. Mondays it's in English, Saturdays it's in Spanish. And like I said, the classes started June 4th, and they go through August 6th. Some of the other programs that we are offering at Loma Alta Park, we do a jazz camp program, started on June 12th. And we have a lacrosse program for girls that we're doing, and it's also going to expand to boys in the fall. And then we have a teen program for teens every Thursday, and that is part of our Parks After Dark. We do a beginning jazz dance class, and that is every Tuesday. We have a baseball program at Loma Alta Park, and it started June 13th, goes all the way to July 20th. And we have a belly dance program at Loma Alta Park as well, and that program was also part of our Juneteenth celebration. Something that we have going on at Farnsworth Park as well is we have the summer concert series, as I mentioned earlier. It starts on July 7th at 7 p.m., and the opening concert is Kenny Sarah and the Sounds of New Orleans. At Charles White Park, we have a summer camp there as well, and they also go up to the pool at Loma Alta. The staff bring them up there, and they have a movie night this July 14th, and it'll be on a Saturday evening. The movie's to be determined right now, but we have a movie, and then we have a concert on Saturday, July 28th. And I will leave any questions for anybody. Oh, yeah. We bring up the children from the summer camp program at Charles White. We take them to the pool at Loma Alta Park so they can get the experience as well that the kids at Loma Alta get as well.
Questions from, okay, Councilmember Sutherlen.
Could we have your email?
Yes, my email is sestrada, and that's spelled SESTRADA, at parks.lacounty.gov. S Estrada, E. S, oh, I'm sorry, S as in Sierra. Yeah. At Parks. Sure. It's S as in Sierra, E, okay. At parks.lacounty.gov. Yes, Miss Penny is still there.
Okay. All right. Any questions from council? Okay, Councilmember White?
Yes, thank you for that presentation. Is all this information available on the website?
Some of it is and some of it is not. There is some information that is not, just because the information that we do have, it does change from time to time. And once we get in our online brochure, sometimes it doesn't get in time. So you can go to the park and still get majority of the you can get all the information, but you can go to the website as well and get most of this information. As far as the detailed information that I gave for what's going on at Loma Alta Park for the Parks After Dark, you can see that on the Parks and Rec website. But sometimes what happens is they add in new things, and so that didn't get in on the online. But when you go into the park, or if you call, and they'll give you updated information. So they do add programs, and they do add special activities.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
7.5, 41st Assembly, Councilmember Matthews.
I'm going to limit my comments in this area because I want to introduce my friend to introduce herself. Assembly Member Chris Holden's new staff member Anne Marie Hickenbottom is present and would like to speak briefly of her position with Mr. Holden's office. And can you speak about the, yes, what's going on? Okay.
Good evening, Chair, council members, and remaining members of the community. I'm pleased to introduce myself as Anne Marie Hickenbottom. I think many of you may already know me. I'm very pleased to be joining the field rep team of Assembly Member Holden. You all know Hector, and he'll continue to work with you, and he's my colleague in our efforts to continue to represent the community to Chris and Chris to the community. By way of background, I grew up in Altadena. My grandparents came to the Pasadena area in the 20s, and my father and mother brought their family up here in 1965. And it's almost like Old Home Week, because when I saw Sam Estrada's name, I'm like, you're not Sam Estrada. And I realized, oh no, you're the son of the Sam Estrada that I went to high school with at John Muir. So I grew up in Altadena area, very familiar. I attended Franklin Elementary School, went to Elliott, went to Washington, graduated from Muir, did a year at PCC and transferred to UC Santa Barbara, where I graduated. I have a lifelong commitment and compassion for this community, and I'm looking forward to doing a good job in this area. And before I forget, August 4th is Assemblymember Holden's annual resource fair, and we have flyers in the background, and I hope we'll see you there. And thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Excuse me, what did you say your first name was?
Ann.
That's the easy part. Ann Hickenbottom.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Oh, you have one? Go.
Just your email address.
ANN.Hickenbottom, HICKAMBOTTOM, @asm.ca.gov.
Council, you will receive
Thank you.
an updated list
Thank
of
you.
all the staff, so you don't have to ask anymore, okay?
Okay. All right. At this point, going back to the officers for 2018, 2019. So it is my pleasure to announce the nomination committee team for the new, for 2018, 2019. So for Councilmember Robertson has agreed to chair the slate or nomination committee. So he will be chairing that. And Councilmember Matthews has also agreed to be part of that, the nomination committee, and then Councilmember De La Torre. So Councilmember Robertson, thank you so much for accepting to chair in this. And so you'll be Councilmember Robertson, Matthews, and De La Torre. Okay. So you know your assignment, so you can go from there. Okay. All right, census tract reports. Actually, maybe, do you need a second a minute to speak, or you okay? All right, thanks.
We'll report back next month.
Yes, okay. All right, 4601, Councilmember White.
Yes, Census Tract 4601, that is north of Mendocino and east of Lake Avenue. As you may remember, we've had some traffic issues, some high-speed drivers on Maiden Lane, and also on Palm between Holliston and Lake Avenue. Last year, Department of Public Works introduced a new traffic pattern at Palm and Maiden Lane. This year, they've just completed a traffic study on Maiden Lane going north from Palm. They concluded their study. They determined it was not appropriate to add speed humps, but they are continuing to look at solutions to slow down traffic. They are proposing a number of traffic signs Some may be flashing signs that indicate speed, and some may be the standard printed signs, but there will be more of them than there currently are. In my talks with traffic, I have asked if the speed can be reduced in that area from 30 miles an hour to 25 miles an hour. That discussion is ongoing. We should see some movement in that area later this year, maybe as early as September. That concludes my update.
Thank you so much, Councilmember White. And 460301.
But I'm going to try to skip through it as much as I can.
Please speak into the mic. Yeah, it's on.
Okay.
Just get it closer to you.
Okay.
And,
In April, the Census Tract 460301 presented a community safety and emergency preparedness meeting. Representatives from all agencies addressed the immediate concerns and ensured the presence of their commitment to the community. The residents and community school representatives have committed to partnering with Safe Streets Committee to take part in Census Tract Safe Streets Survey as a civic project. That's led by Dorothy, and Dorothy is aware of that, and the schools have actually partnered. Road improvement schedule. The new rapid rectangular flashing beacons on North Lincoln and Palm Street are anticipated to be installed in early 2019. Department of Public Works will start the site distance study at intersection of Holly Grove Lane and Canyon Crest in the Meadows, with a completion date of September 2018 to meet the 2-year moratorium on repeat requests. There are other site distance studies for red curves, and I'm sure you, in your areas, you may notice that they're starting to do that. And it's being investigated on Olive Avenue and Glen Rose, and investigation on numerous speed bumps and parking restriction requests. Community, please be mindful that feasibility studies are conducted to assess concerns which could take some time. What is being experienced through Altadena is work from previous studies and investigations, so nothing is first time doing something, and it's really important for me to say this because our departments work very hard in doing what they need to do for our community. However, it is good to follow up with the Department of Public Works to ensure there is a future date to start an investigation to begin the work. And that said, meaning on behalf of residents of 460301, a thank you is extended to Supervisor Barger's office and the Department of Public Works for scheduled work and being responsive to the community. And thank you to council members who follow up on their prior council members' work to get things done. Nothing is new in this community. As a joint effort, Casitas and Altadena Drive North-South connections, Census Tract 460301 and 02. I sent an email to Gloria and Dr. Thomas today. Prior work on the southwest corner of Casitas and Altadena was completed. However, the white edge stripe lines were not restored. Having shared this information with council representatives for Census Tract 460302, I've asked to complete the follow-up representatives. I was asked to complete the follow-up and representatives for 460302, and they were informed that the work is now scheduled to restore the striping. That's a big thing. That is an area on Casitas where a lot of the pedestrians are equestrian people. There are children going to school, and there's a lady there that's been there for years that's blind, partially blind, and without those stripes, she was literally walking in the middle of the street. And I stopped many times to, got to move over here now. So now the stripes are going back. So I'm very thankful for that. Special thanks to the Arroyo Golf Club members, Donald Matthews, my honey, my sweetheart, my husband, Dr. Reginald Jamerson, answering the request from Gregory Middleton for golf equipment for John Muir High School students, golf lessons for at-risk and low-income families. Again, thank you to Arroyo Golf, and of course, my neighbor in the back there, Dr. Millicent Wilson, for providing disaster action plan totes for all residents. She donated this herself, attending the meeting this evening and sharing information to residents, and you have that information in your red tote there. The blue can 50-year shelf emergency water. You should speak to her when you leave and talk to her about it. Our Florida Farm area, we have already received our water. We are stocked. Dr. Wilson is the Disaster Training Specialist, Emergency Medical Services Agency, Los Angeles County, Department of Health, and team volunteer for Map Your Neighbor and for Map Your Neighbor. Tree trimming. Tree trimming scheduled public works project for Altadena for 2018 to 21 calendar. I've been working on this for some time, and I will tell you this, that several residents have requested information which I will provide to council to share with your constituents. The information also included in the, it includes the type of trees that provide safe and accessible sidewalks. Voter Center's 2020 election, this is critical. This is not a partisan issue I'm saying to you, but I'm sure we all are aware of this. And what's happening now is that the county's initiative is to locate ideal placements for future vote centers in 2020 election cycle. In 2020, the vote centers will replace traditional polling, allowing 11 days to vote anywhere within the county. Residents within Census Tract 460301, including my neighbor there, have reached out to numerous nonprofit organizations within Altadena, churches and associate groups in Altadena and the surrounding areas that will be participating to provide a broader reach, including the organization that was here today. They are part of it. We're reaching everywhere. And that takes care of that. And I'm through.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Matthews. And let's 4610.
Okay, mine is really short, and it has to do with the recycling center, the, on Lincoln, directly across from the 24-hour fitness. It's under investigation. It is out of compliance. They have a permit, but they're out of compliance, and they have gotten an attorney. I started reaching out to the county back in October about it. And so finally now something's going to be done. Either they have to come in compliance by regulating the traffic that shows up there and keeping it clean, or they have to move. So I just wanted to let everybody know about that recycling center. That's it.
Thank you so much. And
Hopefully they need somebody.
okay, anything else from council? Okay, well, it looks like we've done very well tonight, and the community, we appreciate you coming. And just to again stress on the Route 88, we really want the community. Your input is very critical. This thing got rolled out so fast, but again, it is a pilot project, and we have the opportunity to come out and give directions as to how this is going to go in the future. Your town council has been working very hard with respect to the concerns of our citizens. I know that Councilmember Malone, Councilmember Wong, just about everybody is being on this. The county has been hearing from you, and they've been communicating with us. So we have come together, collaborated, and we do have at least 2 opportunities for the community to direct as to how this is going to go. The city of Pasadena is cooperating We just don't want to say certain things that may have not been vetted. We want the community to know that we have heard you and we are responsive to what you have said. We need your help to come out and tell us a little bit more and guide us on how you want us to proceed. Okay? And having said that, I would like to entertain a motion.
Motion to adjourn, second.
Okay, so a motion is properly made and properly seconded, and the meeting is adjourned. May I have the time, please?
9:23.
9:23.